You darn well should. People keep it G.
Go ahead and give me your first, and I'll
Yeah.
give you.
CJ Spiller. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna take any Georgia players. I don't think. You know why? Because I think they're great as a team. I don't think there's one player. Now Clemson's different. I could see putting Trevor Lawrence maybe on this list.
Go with your first, so I can tell
I'm
you
still
who
just thinking about you. I'm just going. My mind's just blown. And speaking of Cam, I'm going to go with Cam Newton. Cam Newton will be in my top 5.
I hate to do this, but he was in my top 5 too.
Cam Newton is in my top 5 players that I've seen. Like he's just man, he's just great. He really was just a straight up winner in college, and he just won pros.
You want to know who I'm going to take for another top 5? Jameis Winston. It's Florida State. Florida State famous Jameis was solid, dude.
Yeah, I think he was solid, and I definitely give him his props. I wouldn't go top 5.
That's fine. This is my top 5.
Yeah, I know.
That's fine.
I know. I like that pick. I don't hate it. I think I'm gonna have to go with Lamar Jackson.
Solid choice. Very solid.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Louisville Lamar.
Very solid.
And just because, yeah, so I'm going with dual threats here, I guess, for the first 2. But the way that
Same really, Jameis Winston. He might not have been as fast as those two, but he could run.
Now the game, the game's changed. But so anyways, I'm going with dual threats, but you have 2 different types of runners here. Lamar Jackson was, so quick. Cam Newton could fall over and get a first down. He's so tall and and
Cam is more like tight end.
Yeah, he could change direction. Lamar is shifty.
Yeah, like Cam is like a tight end.
Yeah,
Lamar is like a wideout.
Yeah,
when it comes to speed and mobility.
Lamar and Cam Newton so far, and you've gotten.
I got Cam, and I got famous Jameis.
All right.
Give me Tim Tebow.
Ooh, well, I don't know how I don't put Tim Tebow on my list.
Give me Tim Tebow.
Give me Tim Tebow as well.
All right, so we're up to 4.
Yeah, that's 3 for me. I've got 3 quarterbacks right here.
Yeah, I have.
That's
3 for me as well, huh?
Not all for the SEC, but
yeah, we both have 3. Mm-hmm. We both have 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, like I said, how do you think they choose the Heisman?
Yeah.
All right, then shake it up for me.
Go ahead. You go. I'm waiting on you.
Okay. I'll shake it up then. I won't go quarterback. I'm not going quarterbacks for my last 2. Give me Georgia Tech Calvin Johnson.
Okay.
And because right then and there in college, people knew he is going to be it. And then he got drafted 2nd overall, which is crazy for a receiver to get drafted 2nd overall. For the most part, you don't really see it that often. That is a franchise pick. And he was the man, dude. Calvin Johnson. He could take over a game just as a receiver.
I got one for you. I'm gonna shake it up a little bit too. I'm going with Amari Cooper, Alabama.
Okay, that is shaking it up. I'm surprised you didn't go D-Hop. Sammy Watkins.
I was about to say D-Hop was good in college, but Sammy was the star receiver on it.
That's a good point. That's why I changed it.
Now,
Um,
if we're talking NFL, Sammy did all right. D Hop in the NFL was nasty.
yeah, 99 Club.
Oh yeah.
So I'll give a shout out, honorable mention to Armonte Edwards out of Appalachian State. He was quarterback. And for those who don't know, he is in the College Football Hall of Fame. And his stat line is the craziest thing you ever see. And he won 2 or 3 national championships with App State before they went to D1. He was the man. I won't put him on this list because competition wasn't quite as strong, but Armani Edwards. For a player, that'd be like a Wofford player going to the NFL. He went to the NFL. He was legit.
So
So
he's like a sixth man.
he's going to be my. I just want to shout him out. I just got to give him some love. He was on the team whenever App State went to Michigan, and they beat. That'd be like North Greenville walking into Clemson and winning. That's how small App State was at the time compared to Michigan. Like no one had heard of App State.
All right, so I'm gonna go with my last pick. While I want to go with T Law or D Watt, I don't want to have 4 quarterbacks on the top 5. If we're doing 10, they would definitely both be on my list. I'm gonna go Jadeveon Clowney.
That's a great pick on the defensive side of the ball. You know, and for our lifetime, he's got one play, really. And you know what I'm talking about against Michigan. Yeah.
Where he knocked his helmet 20 yards.
Yeah, and then picked up the fumble.
Yeah, and then didn't he score that?
Yeah, they scored a touchdown. Yeah.
That's probably one of the greatest defensive plays that we've seen in our lifetime.
Yep, and with that play, he became the number 1 pick.
Yep.
So, yeah, I like that. He really shook things up.
Oh yeah, that play still gets that play still gets shown on Instagram today.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
That was Steve Spurrier's South Carolina team.
Yeah.
Which those were different.
yeah. Steve Spurrier was a different coach.
So
He was an old school coach.
The old ball coach is what they
Yeah.
call him. All right. I'm gonna give my 5th, and you know what? Obviously, like I said, Georgia's got a lot of phenomenal players that's come through, but I'm not going any Georgia player. I don't think any one of them deserves to be top 5. And I'm not saying that due to lack of talent, but I'm gonna go back to whenever I was first getting into college football, and he just got his Heisman back, Mr. Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush was probably the best running back that I've ever seen in college football. Him or Darren McFadden.
I'm gonna give it. So you gave an honorable mention. I'm gonna give one to somebody I think should have been on your list.
You say Todd
You
Gurley?
left out. Nick Chubb.
Yeah, dude, he's great. Nick Chubb's great, dude. He's great, dude. He's not the top 5 that I've ever seen. The top 5.
When he was nasty.
He might be top 5 Georgia players.
He was when he was in college.
Top 5 Georgia players, he would be on my list. He's not top 5. I could go so many other people before him. I'm going T Law before I go him. I'm going D Watt before I go Nick Chubb. I am going Aaron Murray, a Georgia quarterback who leads the SEC in passing yards all time, before I go Nick Chubb. I might go Todd Gurley before I go Nick Chubb.
Look, I just want to give an honorable mention to somebody I think doesn't get.
You thought I should
love as he should.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, Nick.
He was nasty.
Yeah, he was great. I actually saw him live at the Belk Bowl.
Those back-to-back seasons where you had Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb,
too.
That was irritating. Because that's when we were still playing y'all to start the year on the reg.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know you've seen those highlights.
That's just
Probably really tearing up Clemson.
Nick Chubb did it too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And it's
we still beat y'all though.
yeah, well, reminisce on those days. Anyways, that's enough of college football. There's not too much more to talk about other than that.
No, at this point, we're just yapping on.
You could take away. I'm just glad you didn't go with CJ Spiller. Now, NFL picks last week. I did trash. I did terrible in picking who won and lost.
I think we were about even, honestly.
Yeah. We'll just keep it at that and pick ours for. Other than the fact that we'll mention a few things, and I'll mention the fact that I cannot believe that the Raiders, who I said you picked the Raiders,
I did pick the Raiders. I'm very happy with that.
and I said there's no way. There's no way. If you want to know our picks, you can go look at
Last week's episode,
but just know Cam picked the Raiders, and
I'm very happy to see that win. Although I can't be too happy because my fantasy team last week got thrashed by yours.
Yeah, well, that's because you.
2 of my players were out.
Yeah, you picked Christian McCaffrey, and I told you he might be out.
And AJ Brown, who neither one of us knew was out.
Yeah, I didn't know about AJ Brown, but and draft Tony Romo this week. Luke Kuechly. No, we're not. We're doing defense anyway. I'm just giving you a hard.
We're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with the teams, the games, and then we'll go to our fantasy teams. And we'll throw in a few extra little things here and there throughout as we do. But we'll start with the Pats versus the Jets because that game was on tonight. We're posting a little later than we had originally planned on, but that's fine. It's okay. We both picked the Jets. And the Jets
we were right about that.
I didn't really have any hesitation. Last time we spoke about this, we talked about it, I think yesterday or the day before. We had a little conversation, and you seemed like you were on the fence about it.
About the Jets?
Yes.
I was, because I don't know. I want Drake May to play. He's not playing. He played 2 snaps, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers. I believe in Breece Hall for my fantasy team. And that's about it. Whatever.
Anyways,
wrong. What's next?
We got Chargers Steelers. I went ahead and I'm gonna ride the Steelers train with this. You, of course, decided to not ride the Steelers train and went with the Chargers.
Yeah, because I'm sick and tired of the Steelers winning with these BS scores. He scored 18 points last week.
Say hey to Taya.
Are you talking to me?
I was talking to you, talking to our viewers. Anybody who wants to say hey, say hey.
I've said hey. Said hey earlier.
Anyways, we have the Texans versus the Vikings.
Dude, I don't even remember who I went with on this either.
I went with
the Texans.
We both went with the Texans.
Yeah,
it's hard against CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick against him. I'm not going to go as far as saying it's like picking against Mahomes, but it's like picking against Mahomes.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like picking against Mahomes, but in that situation, it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I'm not going to go as far as that, but it's like that.
All right. Who else we got?
Got the Eagles versus Saints. Look, I know. I think I said this week 1 of the podcast. Episode 1. Huh?
I went with the Eagles, right?
You did, but I was getting to that. I think it was episode 1.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna be an Eagles fan this year, or I'm gonna follow them. Even though I said that, I don't think they beat the Saints.
I think they're gonna be the Aints and not win.
And New Orleans home,